Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Noble Company podcast. My name is Royston, and if you're new to this podcast, we have a good time discussing contemporary topics in business. We speak with experts, academics, and entrepreneurs from across the world on a number of topics as it relates to business. Now, this evening, we're going to be looking at the topic from side hustle to all in, stories of micro entrepreneurship. Now, there's a lot of different viewpoints on micro entrepreneurship. There's some persons that criticize it and says that it puts the persons involved into further debt because it does not provide opportunities for them to access proper credit or access proper loans, or loans are given to them at really high interest rates. But for others, people see it as a way for persons to escape poverty and to build a life of freedom for themselves. And so we've invited a group of micro entrepreneurs from Barbados, and we are going to have a chat with them about their experience, and they're going to tell us if they find it to be worth it, if it's a source of freedom for them, if it's a debt trap. So we're going to have a good discussion, and we're going to get into the work that they do. So at this time, I'm going to introduce them to the platform. First, I'm going to introduce Omar. Hi, good night, Omar. Janelle.
Hi, good night.
Tyree. And Deanne.
Hi.
All right. So, guys, what I'm going to ask you to do is to mute your mics when you're not speaking. Try to remember to unmute yourselves when I ask you a question. I never remember to unmute myself. So, being not like me. All right. So, the first thing I'm going to do is just to ask you to tell me a little bit about yourself and your business. I'm going to start with Deanne. Deanne?
Hi, good night, everyone. I am Deanne Smith. I am the founder of Bold by D. I'm also an author, I'm a digital storyteller, and a content marketer. But tonight I'm representing my brand, Bold by D, and Bold by D is basically a skin and hair care line, so I'm into the beauty and cosmetics industry. I cater to men, women, and children. I have products for all of those. I started in 2019, and when I started, it actually only had 2 products, a body butter and a hair cream. But right now, currently, I have 8 products, and I have more to come.
All right. Thank you so much, Deanne. Next, I'll go to Omar.
Yes, please. My name is Omar, Canada, founder of C Enterprises, which consists of making natural juices, located Blacklock, Calhoun Complex, in front of the Caesars Pizza. Yeah, we sell natural juices, fruit, vegetables, stuff. Say it was a business starting from ground up and willing to reach higher heights.
You see, I told y'all I have a problem muting and unmuting. So thanks so much, Omar. Now I'm going to turn over to Janelle. If you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Hi, my name is Janelle. I run J-Scape bar. I also have entertainment side of that, which I have an event called Sobero, and I also produce here at the bar during the crop over period something called Soca Central. So the bar is my baby. I can tell anybody that. That's my third child. It came out during COVID, and we are still here. We are still going, and I will tell you a bit more about that a little later.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Janelle. And now we turn over to Tyree.
Hello, good night. My name is Tyree Weekes-Haynes, and I'm one of the co-founders of Liquid Desires. Liquid Desires is traditionally what you would call a triage company. We would have started out as one and just many umbrellas, but we developed a more systematic. For example, we have a branch which encompasses our hot pepper brand, which is flavored pepper sauce. We get all the traditional flavors like pineapple, tamarind, mango, and passion fruit all in the same flavor. And even for people who have a hotter palate, we have the smoked flavor. Now, Liquid Desires doesn't only traverse into condiments. We also do cocktails. Like, for example, the bar is also my baby. uh, we also do bottled cocktails, a more craft blend, and use traditional flavors inside of our cocktail blends. For example, inside our mango and passion fruit, so we use real passion fruit seeds. In our sangria, instead of using a more citrus liquor, we go more local. I use Barbadian rum as well as local fruits from the island, depending on the season as well. And also, not last but not least, we also have a farm as well, which we call Boam's Farm, which basically translates to all roads lead to agriculture. And he would encompass, and we would just correlate everyone. Um, we would just correlate with everybody in terms of the company. For example, that the head of the farm, which is Zachary Moore, he would grow the peppers for us and all the indigenous stuff. And if you want to make a collage with the hot stepper, we also have another partner named Royston, who's the head of the pepper sauce brand, and me, of course, I'm the head of the bar. I'm not sure if you could tell, but that would be Liquid Desires on a whole. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Tyree. And I understand that Zachary is also now on. Hi, Zachary. Yeah. So good night. So Tyree just kind of gave a synopsis of the business. So welcome to the conversation. And if there's anything that you think Tyree missed and you wanted to add, let me know. And then we can move forward.
Tyree covered it. Like he said, we encompassed the from the farm directly to the bottle, and hot peppers, the hot pepper sauces, passion fruits, to passion fruit cocktails. So we try to invest right across the value chain. So he did cover it, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I want to say a special good night to all our guests. I see Truly Michelle on, Claudia Ferdinand, Steve Worthy, and Tony Taylor Lloyd. Thank you so much for signing in. We appreciate you having you here. And just so you know, our podcast is really interactive. So not only do we encourage the guests to talk to each other, if there are any questions you want to ask each other, but we actually also ask our guests to pose questions to the panel or comments. So feel free to just chime in whenever you're ready. All right. Okay, so perfect. So let's get into a little bit more of the why. So let's start with Janelle. Why did you get your business started?
The why. The why is I had no choice. I was at a place where I was suddenly out of a job. I had a family to support. I had things to do, and it was like sink or swim. And I definitely wasn't sinking at that time. And my business started in my veranda. So you would see me with a sign outside, and I have my menu written up. And if not for my son, not saying that I can't cook, but if not for him, I don't know where we would be today. So he deserves all the credit for starting this business. We were selling our food. As I said, the business started in COVID, and we were cooking, putting out a menu on a daily basis, advertising to people who couldn't, you couldn't go to restaurants and stuff, and you had to do just deliveries. So I was doing deliveries, taking it to people's home, leaving the food on the patio and stuff like that. And that is how we get started until I was able to find a prime location, like 2 minutes away from where I was living at the time. And I was just walking up the gap. And I remember when the bar was building, because it was just an empty lot. I was up here every day. I was pulling up grass with my hands. I was sweeping. I was doing all kinds of things. And mind you, nothing was on this spot but the dirt on the ground. So we definitely had to build everything from the ground up, and everything out of pocket, because COVID, they ain't got no job, they ain't got no money, nobody ain't giving you anything. There's nothing for them to give, actually. So it depended on every single sale I got that, okay, is this money going to pay rent this week, or pay the light bill, or buy groceries? The children could do without eating all these snacks and whatever. I really got to buy this sheet of galvanized, or this lumber really need to be bought, or I really need to get bathrooms in this place. So it was always a sacrifice, and some major sacrifices as well. And that is how we are here today.
Thank you, Janelle. And I guess a little later we'll talk about the successes of her business, because in a very short time, her business has really proven to be very successful. Tony Taylor says, admirable, Janelle. Tony, when you come back home, you should visit. We should actually go and visit. All right, so thanks, Janelle. Next, I'll move to Omar.
Yes, please. What should I say? Well, once again, just like find out there, I was, we'll say, a crossroad between me and my partners.
Omar, can you give me a little bit more volume, please?
Like actually,
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
You hear me good? Yeah, I was saying, it was a crossroad, and we came to a crossroad in our lives, both me and my partner and I. Well, let's say we were fresh out of incarceration, put in a position where we were seeking jobs, but no avail. So I got to thinking of like, all right, this is a very sticky situation. It's either to go forward from here or go back. And looking back, was it a pretty sight? The experience wasn't a pretty experience. So it was time to change. You know what I mean? It was time to change, and I just came up with this idea of like being desperate. I said, maybe I should try selling nuts. It was crazy, but yeah, I look at it as $1 pack of nuts, $1 million packs of nuts at $1. It's $1 million the same way, right? So I was unfortunately financially embarrassed at that time. So my mom spot me $120. So we went to Shadow Street, bought a half bag of nuts, exchanged them, came back, bagged them out, and went on the street. And from there, that was 13 years ago. And only seeing the price was birthed through that. And to tell the truth, it was a rough journey, but it was worth it. So,
That's great to hear, Omar. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm really hopeful that people that are listening really hear the kind of sacrifices that persons have had to go through to get started, and to let persons know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, that out of desperation can come something wonderful and something sustainable. So thanks again to everybody for sharing your stories. I'll go to Zachary, no. Tyree spoke on behalf of the business before, so I'll let you talk about your why, Zachary.
So what I can do is talk about liquid desires in total, and then focusing on the farm as well, my area in the business. So liquid desires was started. The way would have to be very ambitious. That's one of the things that I can tell you about. As a group, all three is very ambitious, and we love food. And it started out from a mishap that happened on the farm because we are agricultural students, and we was farming, trying to prevent the monkeys from destroying the crops, and hot peppers don't do nothing to stop them. I can let you know that firsthand. They went around the hot peppers, they jump over them, they look at them, and they eat all the crops that was in the middle. And what ended up happening is that all we had was hot peppers. And what our founder usually says, our partner Royston usually always says, when life gives you peppers, make pepper sauce. And that's exactly what they did. And we joined the $20 challenge. We end up winning the $20 challenge. And I guess we've continued pursuing business despite the failures that we've had because we are passionate about one food, but not also food, but providing the opportunity for our friends and family to be able to work and get meaningful jobs. And we started this. Tyree, you could jump in. Maybe this is how long now we've been doing Liquid Desires for. Um, 4 years. So 4 years on and off in between school, and we still pursuing the mission and the dream till date. The farm started 2 years ago, and we always wanted to get like vertically integrated. So we wanted to produce our hot peppers so that we could manufacture them and put them into the pepper sauces. And that was one of the most difficult times that I've ever experienced in my life. We started it. We got the land in 2020, just in the middle of COVID-19 as well too. Coming out to school, going university as well. We had no money. The government just called up and they said, hey, you join the feed program. Here's this land. All right, now it's you to figure out what you can do with it. And one thing I can tell you is that agriculture is very expensive. Even though you got the land now, you still got to inject lots of capital to be able to start production, plow the land. And we end up leveraging our student loan that we had for university to invest into the farm. And it was a year and some just going up every morning, 4 o'clock, tilling in the soil, just trying to get things off the ground. Until date, we've seen some successes, but I can tell you farming is not easy at all. And the way is, and we will continue to pursue the dream. I think it's the dream that keeps us going. Being able to create something, to build something that will last beyond us. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Zachary. And for those of you who are watching, I don't know if you mind telling them your age, but these guys are really young. So when you talk about being in business for 4 years, I mean, you started in your teens, correct?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So I mean, really good on you.
Thank you
All
very much.
right. So we have a comment here. Somebody's showing you some love. Omar said, good job, Omar. I'm proud of you. This is Claudia. Hi, Claudia. Thanks so much for being here. All right. So Deanne, tell us about your why.
Okay, so unlike some of the others, I wasn't, at a crossroads, honestly. Personally, I was at a crossroads, but business wasn't at the forefront of my mind. So growing up, I had very sensitive skin. I thought that it was getting better, probably late teens, 20s, but as I was heading for my 30s, the problems came back. So I started getting rashes, or my skin would itch. I like everything that I was using. I was getting really frustrated. I decided that I was going out to make my own products. So I decided to make a body butter, and I dragged my mom along with me, went to get some stuff, did a lot of research, started making my own. And then as I walked around with it, I had friends and coworkers, asking me about it. Or if someone asked, hey, do you have cream or do you have lotion? I would say yes, I would give them my product. And well, at that time, I didn't think it was a product. I just thought it was just a concoction, right? So people would say, where you got this from? And I would just say, I made it. And people will usually be very shocked, like, you made this? So you make it for other people? And I'm like, no, that was never on my mind. It was never my intention. But as people started to ask more, and I guess people became more curious about it, I decided, okay, maybe this is a thing. Maybe I can do this. Maybe this is something that I should consider. So I started to do that. And for years, I also was making a concoction for myself when it came to my hair. So people will also ask me what I did for my hair as well. So that's kind of basically what made me want to start. I just decided I'm going to go for it. But it wasn't easy, just like everybody else. So knowing that people would want to buy the product was the easiest part. But actually getting into business, I had no prior knowledge of how to do anything. I just decided to get it and go. So I think that at the beginning, it was a lot harder for me, not knowing exactly what I'm doing in terms of on how to get the business started and how to run things and how to get everything together. I really believed in my product. I put a lot of time and effort and research. I know my products and I know what I do well, but in terms of getting the business off the ground, I started without a logo. I started without labels. I just put the product into a container, and it was just me, containers, and products, and I would just put it out there. I started in terms of finances. I received income tax return check, and I'm pretty sure I was going to buy a phone. I decided, you know what, I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to just, take a risk on myself. It wasn't that much, but I put it in there, and that's how I started. And here I am, 4 years later with that as well.
Okay, Deanne, are you going to share about the book as well?
Oh, yes. So I am also the author of What's Your Problem? So I absolutely love writing. So my book is my baby. Everyone else talks about their baby. But my book is my baby. My art, my creativity, that anything to do with writing is my baby. So I published a book back in 2021. I had written this children's book years ago, years prior. I would always write and I would just put things down, but I actually never did anything with it. I would just keep it to myself. So I decided that it was time for me to do it. I felt led to do it. My book, What's Your Problem, is really a play on the word what's your problem, but you're talking about fro and afro. So it's really a book about hair and encouraging Black boys and Black girls to really embrace their hair, really embrace who they are, really embrace their skin, love the way that they are made. And I felt led that although I didn't set out to write children's books. I really do want to write adult fiction, but it was always like heavy on my heart that I felt like that's something that we needed. And the time that I wanted to do it, there weren't really a lot of books about hair. There's a lot of them now. And I don't mind because I think we didn't have them when we were younger. We didn't have books that represent us. And I think that no, there could never be enough of those type of books to represent us. So everyone could check it out. It's on Amazon, or you could follow me on my Instagram page called D Say So. And you can learn more about my blog there.
All right, thanks so much, Deanne. And I'll just go to the comments quickly because we have so many people on and time is going really quickly. So we have Claudia. Claudia says, "Good evening. Congratulations, Omar, watching from Florida." We have Donna. Love the sound of crickets in the background. A nice Caribbean night. Absolutely beautiful Caribbean night. And Claudia again says, "Good job to the panel. Young people are our future. I hope that you will post their business location or website. Thanks." Yeah, absolutely, Claudia. So at the end of the program, I'll let everybody see where they can be reached. And if I forget, somebody please remind me. Okay, so when I was given the introduction to the podcast, one of the things that I talked about is the criticisms of micro entrepreneurship. So it's not necessarily that easy to get loans, or it's not necessarily that easy, or even when you get loans or you get credit, the terms are ridiculous, and so you have to pay more interest than the average person because you're considered to be more of a risk than the average person. So for any of you who have gone out to get loans, has that been a problem? And would you say that the problems outweigh, or the challenges rather outweigh the benefits of micro entrepreneurship? I'm throwing that out to anybody to answer.
I'll say my part. From my experience, there's a give and take. What I would say, it was very beneficial in boosting to the business, but then there were things like COVID and all those sort of things that came out of the blue and made it very challenging for the repayment. But as I said, once you persist, you shall persevere. So yeah, it'll be challenging, but at the end of the day, you gotta know where you're heading and what you'll say the piece that you bit off, you have to swallow.
So, question, Omar, were the financial institutions understanding of your situation as a micro entrepreneur, or was it that, like, regardless you were able to meet the payments?
Well, might not be able to meet payments on the date,
Yeah.
which required, but yeah, you don't want bad credit. So at the end of the day, you have to, you don't want to be embarrassed at your business and then somebody come, take you away from it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an obligation that you take responsibility for. Either or, don't care, whatever. But I would say they were as lenient as possible.
Okay.
As lenient as possible on my behalf. Yeah, as lenient as possible. And shout out to them for that. There.
All right. Thank you so much. Anybody else? I know that Tyree and Zachary. Oh, you were going to say something, Janelle?
Yes, I was going to say that. When I started J-Scape, because as I said, I was running a bar before, and circumstances as there were led me not to be there anymore. And it was one that was, I can just use the word popular at the time, and that came about from a lot of the things that I was doing. I always treated it as this is just not a little backyard bar. People was like, oh, you can't do that there, you can't do that down there, and stuff like that. So the business was good, the business was booming, it was making money and stuff like that. And even at that time, when I could show my income, it was a challenge to get a loan. I mean, the only thing that they asked me to bring in was a blood type sample or anything like that. But it was a challenge then. So at this point now, COVID, not having a job, I did not even risk it because it was like, it definitely will be a no. Because if it was a no, then when you really had the capital, what's going to happen now?
Mm-hmm. All right. So Tyree and Zachary, it seemed like at some point, well, I'm not sure if you talked about using your student loan. Was that for another loan?
Pardon me, say that again.
You talked about using your student loan as some kind of collateral. Did I understand that correctly?
Not really collateral. What I did is that I the loan I had for school I used to jumpstart the business because I had no capital, like you know what I mean.
Oh, okay,
Capital,
okay.
capital. But in regards to microfinancing, what we've looked at first of all, what we've looked at is that we've mainly looked at grants because
Okay.
we understand the loans could be like a noose around your neck sometimes, especially when you're trying to start out, especially when there's a high degree of risk involved and you don't know if the product might, you know what I mean, do well on the market either. So we've leaned towards grants, but we found a few organizations within Barbados that you would prefer to go to for microfinancing, especially for startups. Banks like the big commercial banks, you usually don't go to them. And they don't even want to hear you. It don't even make sense for them to invest in you. But you got the BTFL, the Barbados Trust Fund Limited. You got the there's the fund access. So you got a few that do give you that are lenient in regards and the interest rates aren't as high because they are specifically built to support small entrepreneurs. But at the same time, like there's a lot of sunk capital that you need when you started out, and loans might not be ideal. Out of pocket might be difficult to do, but sometimes you might gotta just take that risk on yourself if you believe in what you're trying to do. Yeah. But for us personally, we tend to go towards grants.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, you took a big risk with that student loan. I am telling you, like, I anybody that knows me knows that I am really brave, but I would not have done that. Props to you for really, really believing in yourself. We have a question here from Curtis. Curtis is a small business owner as well. And he says that only crazy people do this because it can be so hard. What do you guys think? Is entrepreneurship for crazy people?
I'll take that. I don't think, well, I guess in a sense, but I think the craziness is the craziness to believe in yourself. I'm believing in yourself. I'm believing in something, a dream or a vision that nobody else can see can be deemed as crazy. Is it crazy? Sometimes maybe, other times no. But just believing in yourself, believing in a product, believing in doing something that no one has ever seen, or even if they have seen it and they believe that too many people are already doing it, why would you go invest in this or why would you do this? I think people see that as crazy. I am a big dreamer. I see things like bigger than people could even imagine, or sometimes I can't even believe that I'm imagining it. And people may think that that is crazy, but I don't think it is. But you definitely have to be determined and you definitely have to be open-minded. But I think the number one thing is to believe in yourself. And not many people believe in themselves or believe in what they want to do or believe that they can get, where they're dreaming that they can get because they think it's out of reach. So the crazy part to me is firstly believing that you can do it. And it's not always easy, especially when it doesn't look that way. Doesn't look like things are happening and you're still pushing and you're still believing. It feels crazy. Sometimes you go crazy through the process, but I don't think it's really crazy. It just looks crazy from the outside.
And actually, I'm going to bring you in here, Omar, because talking about looking crazy, you mentioned in your bio that at first you were the laughing stock of your neighborhood. So do you want to share a little bit about that?
Well, this is stereotype. Your neighborhood, say I had a troubled life, and now all of a sudden selling nuts on the side of the road at $1. So, ha 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 ha. And crazy, I laugh back at them also because, as I told you guys, my concept, how I look at it, they were blinded. So I laughed, and all I could do today, laughter is turning into lots of intriguement. And so some came and asked bold questions. Like, oh, the business got to be really doing good for us. We're still there. See when I got this and I get that. No, so, but yeah, it was we will say it was. I don't even know what else to say. Like,
That's right. Well, you definitely beat the odds.
yeah, well, that's where I find I perform the best when
Okay.
it, when the odds are against me.
Hmm.
Yeah, that us, yeah, me and my partner, that's where
Yes.
we perform at the best. You know, at the pinnacle, that's where we come. Not just do it at night, but spread
Hmm.
it silence. Yeah, but I found out don't do it for them. Do it for you.
True.
It lasts longer. It
Hmm.
lasts longer. You know the way you say the victory, the taste of victory. Yeah, it's much sweeter.
All right. Thanks for that. Anybody else want to jump in quickly before we move on? All right. Cool. Well, we have another comment here from Jerry. Jerry says, so blessed by these powerful stories of entrepreneurial development. The distinctiveness of each of you speaks to a singularity of you in productive purpose. Only you can be you, and only you can live in your productive purpose. Anyone else is a fake. Love the energy that defines each of you as you walk out this journey. Thank you so much. And I'm pretty sure that everybody else appreciates that sentiment. And I think that is so important because, I mean, even Deanne was talking about the audacity of believing in yourself. And the fact that sometimes people say there's so many people that are doing these things. But one of the things that I found is that, yes, a lot of people are doing these things, but nobody does it quite like you. And sometimes just your personality sells a product. I've worked in situations, and this doesn't have to do with entrepreneurship, no, but where my personality has saved the business. You know, when persons are thinking about walking away because they're dissatisfied, so your personality, your drive, your energy can really take your business to the next level and can allow you to surpass even your competitors. By the end of the day, you know, there's a piece of the pie for everybody, and it's about being distinct in your area. So thanks so much for sharing that. um, Joyanne says, you are definitely an inspiration, Omar. I'm so proud of you guys and how far you have come. Continue to do great things. So I just want to remind you guys that Omar is not a sole entrepreneur, that he actually has a partner, Corey, who is not on here right now. Um, but nevertheless, he's also an integral part of the business. I see Royston. I saw Royston sign in. He says, nice. So Royston is part of the trio with Tyree and Zachary. So welcome, Royston. I wish that you could be here, but I'm glad that you're signing in. So Jerry also says, regarding finance, as much as you can fund development through friends, family, equity, or grants in this early stage, please do. Very good advice. And it seems like everybody here, I mean, that's what they've been doing. So those of you who are in the audience who are listening in and you're thinking about starting your business, you know, that's the route that you may want to take to get started. So now I'll ask you, how has being an entrepreneur impacted your life? I'll start with Liquid Desires, Tyree and Zachary.
Uh, how does it really impact my life? Okay. For example, right? You, what I could tell you is I'm a lot more into, for example, Zachary degree is financing, and I could find that I've dived a lot more into financing after becoming entrepreneur per se, and I realized that almost everything counts, down to the last minute detail, as the honest truth. And you never really notice how many things you would say, okay, cool, that's not gonna amount to much, and it really does amount to much. Okay, so I feel like I'm more uh financially literate in terms of managing not only the cost of goods but also the markup and the margins in that go really in terms of product cost. So for me, that was the biggest change for me per se. I'm not sure what Zachary would be, but he's happy to go.
Zachary,
Uh,
tell
yeah,
us.
yeah. For sure. Is one of the things that we talk about. The business is so dynamic. I didn't understand that until we got into it. And there's so much different components that I know that each individual. I don't know how the individuals do it, like how Bold by D and you know what I mean do it, but on their own because without Tyree and Royston, this would be crazy. The amount of things that we've got to juggle at once, it takes three of us with like with two hands to hold everything together. And I think entrepreneurship has opened up my mind to the value of a team, of having a strong team behind you. Some things I just don't know, but Tyreek might know. And if Tyreek don't know, Royston might know. And then the team that we've created, come on, like teams. I think teams is the only way forward for us to do business at the level that we want to do it at. So I think that's what I got from being an entrepreneur.
Perfect. All right. So next, I'll go to Deanne.
I would say that it impacted me like tremendously, but I would say it impacted me more personally when it comes to personal development. I'm a very confident person, but I think being confident in self and being confident as an entrepreneur is two different things. And I think that is something that I have learned on my journey. So I could come here, I could speak to you, I could talk about everything that I do, but when I first started being an entrepreneur, putting myself out there, yes, I believed in my product, but being confident in actually going out there to do it and being confident that it will do well and being confident that I can actually get what needs to be done. I think that was two completely different things. And I'm usually someone that I like to separate my life. So I am Deanne first and foremost before anything else. So I'm Deanne before I'm an author. I'm Deanne before I'm a content marketer. I'm Deanne before I'm the founder of Bold by D. But being an entrepreneur, I think I found a balance with the others. But because entrepreneurship probably was the last thing that I kind of picked up, I felt like trying to bring that along with me and adding that onto the list. I think that was my struggle at first. And I think that I'm really finding my way. And I think that I have really pushed me to really do things that I couldn't even see myself doing. The personal development that came along with it is something that I will never take for granted. And it's something that I would do all over again, just to see who I have become. And I'm looking forward to see who I will become the more that I get into it and the more that I scale my business and the more that Bold Baby gets out there. I think it was just, I think that's the biggest thing for me. My personal development and my confidence as an entrepreneur has then impacted my confidence in self. And like I said, I was a pretty confident person before. So to think that I could become more confident or to find holes in my personal development are things that I didn't even know existed that entrepreneurship pulled out of me. I would say that that's the biggest way it has impacted.
Thank you, Deanne. I'll move over to Janelle.
Oh wow, I can feel a little stupid here given my answer because I wish mine was as simple as that. Because this being an entrepreneur and how it impacted my life, I don't even feel like I have a life, to be honest. I spend every day at the bar, like except Sundays and some Mondays now. But I have gone through depression. I have dealt with anxiety. I am constantly brainstorming what I can do next, what I could try different, what I can do different, what I can introduce to the menu, what I could introduce to the entertainment part. And to touch on something that you spoke about just now, when one of the guys left a comment, and you were talking about, when people were saying be yourself and do you and stuff like that. I remember I had times because my Soca Central would be on Wednesdays, and people say, but you know, they got another Soca event on Wednesdays. Why are you doing this on a Wednesday? You're going to be competing with XYZ. I'm like, no, I'm not competing with anybody because I do it me. I am going to draw a different clientele. I am going to offer something different where you got to go to this Soca event and you got limited things that you can eat and drink and, 5,000 people in a venue and you got to wait 2 hours to get to the bathroom and stuff like that. And you may come here, they may got 50 people or they may got 500 people some weeks. But the service that I provide, the environment that I provide, the level of entertainment that you would come here and you would get for free is something completely different. So, everybody got their own little niche on things that they can do and they can do different and what they can offer and stuff like that. But for me, the biggest gain I got from this is having a little bit more faith, because some days I wonder how I can get this done, how I can get through the day, how I can get through the week, what can happen at the end of the week. And I mean, these are things that sometimes at 4 o'clock in the morning, I am laying on my bed and I'm like, jeez, bread, what can happen today? I hope today's a good day. I hope today's a busy day. I hope today's a productive day. All those things. I hope I meet this target that I'm trying to meet, because if I don't, at the end of the week, it can be problems or whatever. But seeing the results in the end, knowing that one day can make the week great, and then there's 1 week that can make the month awful. And people in business would understand what I mean when I say that. It gives me a little bit more faith that great things can happen, good things can happen. And if you just be you and do you and be a little positive.
Yeah, definitely positivity is necessary. Okay, so Omar, tell me, how has being an entrepreneur impacted your life? It sounds like it saved your life for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It helped me along with ways of being responsible. I mean, you're the person, because we are the ones that actually making it happen. And can't afford to make foolish mistakes. So it taught us to be very disciplined. Taught us a lot. What I can say, it really taught us a lot. It taught us a great deal, and freedom to an extent, as in like peaks, like working for somebody, you go again for 7:30. It's 7:30, you go again. But not saying that you can't in the hours, but if we get up and everything covered to an extent, I can lay down a little 10 minutes. You can't do that unless you want a work slip. Warning letters.
Yeah.
So it gives me freedom in that area, but still at the end of the day, you have a task to perform. Shows you when it's going to get tough, you have to get to it. But some days you ain't feel like getting up, but you got to get out there or you ain't get feed.
Yeah.
So
it's that simple.
Yeah, so it taught us that also, that like when it relies on you, it's you that it really relies on. Everything, it doesn't happen without you.
Well, so I'm actually going to ask you the next question, since you're talking, Omar. So how do you deal with feelings of uncertainty? I know Janelle just talked about like depression and anxiety and being up at 4 o'clock in the morning and not knowing when some bills are going to be paid. And she mentioned how it's helped her to build her faith. How do you deal with issues of uncertainty?
Well, I take them as a challenge.
Okay.
I take them as a hurdle that when we do whatever we decide to approach it, whether it's jump it, go around it, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So
yeah.
So yeah, I see it as a challenge. Like after what you've been through in life. But these, hell yeah. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Omar,
Our
I
word is
need some of that.
resilient. Pardon?
I need some of that energy. I definitely
Uh,
need some of that
uh,
energy. You were saying something?
like I said, the key word is resilience.
Yeah.
Resilience, right? Resilient. Where you try to be resilient through everything that is happening to you, whether
Mhm.
because we all have our emotions. There are times where we wake up when it seems like everything coming on for you, and you're like, depression comes in, anxiety, like. But at the end of the day, the way you say sometimes it will be a dilemma, sometimes it will just be a problem. But it's to find the best path which will lead you to where you want to be, or at least closer to where you want.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we're winding down. So I'm going to ask quickly Tyree and Zachary. Tyree first and Zachary. What do you think? How do you deal with feelings of uncertainty?
Although deal with feelings of uncertainty. The thing about our group is that mm, there's not a point in time where all of us are feeling uncertain. That's the honest truth.
Oh, yeah.
If if one of us feeling uncertain, the others is easily slide in and say, yeah, nah, we got this here covered. If Zachary feeling uncertain about presentation, I'd be like, yo, we got this. We got this. You know how long we prepare for this, how much work we put in it, and vice versa. It was never an instance where all of us were just okay, cool. I feel I feel anxious. It was always yeah, cool. Get it together and let's do this. We can crush this year. That's
So
the honest.
I
Yeah,
guess that's the value that Zachary was talking about having a team. Now
exactly.
I'm thinking I need a business partner.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need somebody to hold my hand.
Um,
Zachary.
but yeah, I got totally agree. We've been together for a while now that I think about it, and we've been like you said, we started in our teens and we going into our young adult phase as well too. So there has been a lot of changes, and I mean within the business and our personal lives, and having that level of a support system that we've created for ourselves has eased the uncertainty in doing business and just living life in general. And I think this extends way beyond business. This is, I think, even if not saying it will happen, you know what I mean? I just saying if it wasn't business that we was doing, I think we would still have that level of support and camaraderie moving forward in life in general. So yes, uncertainty is definitely a part of business. I can tell you, I've been through a lot of cycles, ups and downs in regards to business, but a team, yeah, that's it. A team, keep you level, keep you grounded.
All right, Janelle, you talked about faith. Is there anything else that helps you to get through it?
Um, Outside of just knowing that I doing this for my kids, that they will understand the dynamics of owning a business, running a business, not having like as I cannot remember his name, but with the natural juices and stuff, not
Omar.
having to Omar, yes, sorry,
Mhm.
as Omar said, not having to clocking to work every morning, creating your own hours, creating your own schedule, knowing that everything is okay. I would hope that my children would take from this business now and build on it and have, even if they don't work here themselves, they don't work in the bar, they don't work in the kitchen or whatever, they employ people, and continue with the legacy.
Mhm. Great, and your son is already doing that right now. And I've commented to Janelle and privately, and I'm going to say it here. I really love, how involved her son is into the business, and that she has provided an opportunity for him where he can work there if he wants to. He can go somewhere else if he wants to. So it's like entrepreneurship has provided opportunities for your family. And I heard Zachary saying the same thing about how he sees it as an opportunity to provide opportunities for his family members as well. Deanne, how do you deal with uncertainty?
I was hoping you would skip for this question because
I
my
know
answer
you have
does
the authority. I
my
know you
answer
have the authority.
my answer does not like sound like everybody else's. First of all, I don't like uncertainty, and that's in life, period. So I deal with uncertainty in my business, how I deal with it in life, and I need to grow in that area for both. I have serious anxiety. Um, I am going to go into a state where I avoid things. I'm going to take a nap. I sleeping it off. I don't want to hear about it. I just go through all types of emotions. But with that being said, I don't give up. Right? So I do go through those motions. It is up and down. I think I have it covered, then I don't have it covered, then anxiety happens. I might cry, I might sleep, I might just be like, you know what, I'm done with this. I cannot tell you guys how much times I was just done with this. Like, I ain't doing this no more. It is what it is. But I'm still here. And so, like I said, I just go through the motions, but I know that I have to get back up. And I know that I'm not a quitter. And I know the product that I have. And I do believe, like we were talking about earlier, I do believe in what I have. I do believe in what I can do. It's just to get past that phase. And sometimes I just do whatever it takes to get past that phase. And I think that what I have come to learn is that I don't feel guilty when I'm in that phase. When I'm in that phase where I don't want to do it anymore, when I'm in that phase where I just go sleep and don't, hopefully the sleep would, take all the problems away, which it doesn't. Whatever it is I have to do to cope and to survive at that time, I will. But then once that is done, I'm like, okay, no, Deanne, what next? You got to get up and do something. So I allow myself to feel, I allow myself to go through the motions, and then I get it and do what I have to do, because quitting is not the option. It really is. So yeah, I go a little crazy, like someone said earlier in the comments. But I'm actually not crazy. I get it and do what I have to do. And like Omar said, it's all about resilience. I agree with Janelle. It's about having faith, and I think in this process, God has really been showing me that I have to let go of that control. Because it really, uncertainty and the feelings that come with uncertainty really comes out of, you don't have full control sometimes. And that's like with anything in life, we don't always have full control. So when we try to hold on to that control, instead of, sometimes just letting things go, see where things go. I'm not a go with the flow person. I hate go with the flow. I believe that I need to know where I'm going. So I have had to come to a point where I learned that sometimes it's okay to just let things be and then move forward from there. So I don't always handle it well, but I bounce back.
Perfect. And Deanne, Tony says, thanks for keeping it real, D. Yeah, thank you, Deanne, because I'm listening to these people and I'm like, okay, something may be wrong with me, because like you, I cry and sleep. I get up, I get back up, but crying and sleeping is definitely a part of my process. So thank you for that. All right, so let's get to the comments. Royston is making sure that his presence is felt, even though he's not here with us on the live. Thank you, Royston. He says, entrepreneurs have to really believe in yourself. Be stubborn in your goals, but flexible in your mindset and techniques. And yes, a little splash of crazy won't hurt. Zachary was innovative by using all his resources. All right, so thanks so much for that, Royston. All right, we have a comment here from Mark Watson. Thanks so much for joining us, Mark. Mark says, good night, all. I find many people look down on entrepreneurs in the Caribbean society as not being successful in a career or being unable to attain an office job, which is what we were trained to believe from young. If you could propose one change in our school system to further educate and promote the youth about entrepreneurship, what would it be? So to break that down quickly, if there was anything that you could implement in the school system as it relates to entrepreneurship and teaching entrepreneurship quickly, what would that be? We're just at our minute mark, so I want to wrap up as soon as possible. I'm going to answer these questions and then
Well, we do the already BF $20 challenge in schools. However, if it's possible that they could do a bit, I'm not sure, a bit more of a curriculum instead of it just being, if you want, you could do it. I feel a lot more people would take it on in a sense. Or for example, if I had to do if I do it as a subject, I feel like that would have hit home. I feel like would have got grade one or something, but I feel like that would have introduced the theory in better with youngsters. I say the kind of youngster too, but cool.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I would say have more clubs. My sister, she teaches at secondary school and she does have a business club where she helps kids, learn certain things about entrepreneurship. I think that's very important. We always have speakers coming in at schools. Why not have entrepreneurs coming in at schools? Why not have, past students who are entrepreneurs or who are successful come in? Because not everyone is exposed. So I think it's all about exposure. I must say that I am not a full-time entrepreneur. So I have had to balance that office job and my entrepreneurship. So I have been doing that since 2019. So just in case, people out there think that we are all full-time entrepreneurs, I am not. So I know the difficulties of doing both, and I value both. And I think having someone who also does both and being able to speak to the value of both can also help. So it's just not saying, hey, I'm a full-time entrepreneur, you should do this, blah, blah, blah. And people are like, okay, so why can't you? Oh, no, I've done both. I do both, right? So I think sometimes showing that, and I think that will also help. Just expose the youth. I think that's really what it is from young.
Okay.
And stop trying to stop the children from selling the snacks at school, because them is the ones who be entrepreneurs. So we always want to stop them from selling snacks at school during lunchtime, selling this, selling that. We stopping their creativity.
All right, let me hear Omar. You got something to add to that?
No, no, that was me. That was me. So it was
Okay. You're
yeah,
on yours.
yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
It was good. Marbles, sweeties, yeah, from school.
And that's the thing, I honestly, that's something that I honestly have realized. A lot of people that used to sell snacks at school turn
Yeah.
out to be entrepreneurs for real. Which is so interesting. All right. Anybody got anything else to add before we move on to the other comments? Okay. All right. So we have another comment from Claudia. Thank you so much for your active participation. She said, Rowan Smith, thank you for this program. You are very welcome, Claudia. Thank you for signing in and thank you for participating. Highlighting these young entrepreneurs who may not be heard or seen otherwise, I know that it's a lot of work. People only see the money part, but they don't know the amount of work behind the scenes that has to be done. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. And I want to give credit to one of my sisters who's actually the person who came up with the idea for this program. So I give credit to her, Joyanne. She's the one that's the teacher who sells, what did you say? What did you say, Deanne?
She has a business club.
Right. So she has a business club.
Yeah,
Right.
so they sell different things and, they do different entrepreneurship activities.
Exactly. So, yeah, so it was her idea. Thanks, Claudia. All right. Jerry says a really powerful conversation in the face of uncertainty. Set sight on lofty goals and labor hard. Be resilient. And listen when you have labored long and hard, and those empowered to motivate you to the next level instead discourage you. Okay, let me read that over. And listen, when you have labored long and hard, and those empowered to motivate you to go to the next level instead discourage you, as if to disarm your passion to labor long and hard. Labor long and labor hard. Thank you so much, Jerry. All right. Claudia says, please keep your products 100% Bajan. For those of us from over and away, there is no place like home when we visit. and it's strictly Beijing for me. Smooches. Right back at ya. All right. So Curtis says, couple themes shining through the comments: resilience, team, belief, and crazy. Yeah, that seems to be the general theme. Thanks so much, Curtis. All right. And Claudia also says customer service, customer service, customer service. Service is the key to any business. I'm very big on customer service. And I'm really big on customer service as well. And I can tell you, you see Omar's partner, Corey. Corey is hilarious. The level of service that Corey gives. You cannot miss Corey at the side of the road trying to sell you products, calling you all sorts of sweetheart and this and that. Like he is amazing. He's a great salesperson.
Don't forget, he's also a poet.
Oh yeah. So Corey comes through the rhymes. Corey comes through the rhymes.
I just plug in, but the other two of my partners are also poets. You know, don't degrade yourself as Royston and Zachary, but you know.
Oh. And Deanna is a poet too.
I am.
I think they still have a page called Inside That Out, right?
Instead of like Zachary Shy. Okay. And then, so we have Janelle Gibson, give yourself a little grace along the journey as entrepreneurs. Definitely. And Lindell says, very interesting and inspiring stories. Unfortunately, I have to go, but good luck to all the entrepreneurs here. Thank you, Lindell. And we actually need to go as well. Oh, Tony said that she used to sell black bitch at school. I don't know if other Caribbean islands know about black bitch, but it's a kind of sweet hair. And yeah, that's it. So thank you so much, everybody who signed in. Thank you for bearing with us. We try to keep it 10 hours, but sometimes we go over. Lots of times we go over. So thank you for your grace. Thank you for giving us the extra 7 minutes of your time. And I'm just going to give the members of the panel just an opportunity to tell us where we can find you and what we can expect for you. Quick summary. Deanne?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Bold by D. That's D with 2 E's. And for my book, you can find me on D Say So. That is DEESAYSSO. I would say follow me right now so you can see what I'm up to.
Mm-hmm. And Deanne is also on LinkedIn at Deanne Smith, so you can find her there as well.
Definitely.
All right, Janelle.
Hey, yes. So you can find me on Facebook and IG at J-Scape Bar. That's JSCAPE Bar. And if you follow us, we can add you to our WhatsApp broadcast so you can get our menu daily. You know, come out tomorrow for karaoke. There's karaoke on Fridays because us Bajans love some karaoke. And yeah, keep in the know.
Mm-hmm. And again, I just want to give Janelle a little big up. I am so proud of Janelle, right? Recently, it was this crop over. BTMI actually took some of their influencers and media personnel that they brought from overseas. They actually took them to Janelle's bar.
Yeah.
So she is. This is not. You understand? She's doing an excellent job.
I still haven't learned really how to celebrate those little small wins, but I get in there.
That's not like a big
some people were telling me that was a real big deal, but yeah. That was just me doing something that I love, putting on a great experience for people. And as we said, you gotta be passionate about it. So when you're passionate about it, it's just come. So when people talk about it, like how you talk about it and stuff like that, I then remember like, oh yeah, that was a real big thing for sure.
Yeah. And then Mr. Zachary and Tyree, who have their products in Carlton Supermarket, their hot pepper sauce. Tell me some more about where we can reach you.
All right, so you can reach us on Instagram at liquiddesires_246 or hotstapper_246, and you can find us in Carlton at Emerald City. Come out, taste a little, and you're gonna want a lot. You gotta try it. You really gotta try them.
Okay, so I hear some poetry coming out there.
So you're not plugging the farm or anything? Let me know.
I mean, we got the farm as well. There's so many different things. We got the farm as well. Boam's Group, Boam's Farms, social enterprise. We're looking to impact agriculture in a big way. We just went to a screening food walk, looking at food and food sovereignty in Barbados and the Caribbean, and we're all about making a difference, changing food ways, getting youth like ourselves involved in agriculture, and right along the value chain. Primary production, secondary production, directly to the consumer.
Perfect. All right. Omar. Well, we know you out by Carlton. You and Corey out by Carlton Complex. What else?
Well, unfortunately for our social media pages are dormant at the moment because the real wasn't getting much feedback, wasn't getting the work from it, anything. So it was more like people was just like peeping.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting a buzz on it, so right now they're dormant. But hopefully, I get somebody who could actually be active to re-engage the pages because I know the importance of it. So just bear with us a little, but we'll be back on our stream with that as soon as possible.
Okay,
but
cool.
until then,
Just shot me, Omar.
the guy on the front of Black Rock Main Road, the Caesar's Pizza, with a broad smile and he rhymes. Yeah, that's the guy. When we see enterprises, that's us. That's where to find us.
Deanne, you were saying something?
I was telling Omar, just chat me for the social media. I have him covered.
Okay, my girl is selling. All right. Okay, and then one more comment here. Jerry says, thanks, guys. Giving up is not an option. Sorry, giving up is an option, just that it is not yours. Your time of accomplishment has been defined by a power greater than you, and your role does not end until your role comes to an end. Thank you. I think that's an excellent way to end tonight's episode. Thank you to all of you who tuned in. Thank you so much, entrepreneurs who came on. Deanne, Omar, Janelle, Tyree, Zachary, Royston from a distance, Corey, who was here in spirit. Thank you so much. Watching. Oh, Corey's watching. Hi, Corey.
He's actually watching. That's his mom, Claudia. Claudia, that's his mom.
Oh, that's Claudia. Hey. Hey, Claudia. So, yeah. Thank you so much. I wish you guys much blessings, and yeah, maybe I'll see you on again. You can give others an update on what you're doing. All right, so good night, everyone, and take care until next time. Bye.
We also want to say thank you to you too for having us on here.
Thank you.
Definitely. Definitely need an invite. I'm here.
All right, perfect. All right.
You can recommend other people also.
All the best, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Nice meeting you guys. It was wonderful.